Good morning all. Over the next few videos I intend to try and share with you some of the sights and sounds from the Pilansberg Game Reserve in the northwestern province of South Africa. Less than 2 hours drive from Johannesburg, it is considered by many to be a real hidden gem, and for me it is especially good for my soul. It's the end of our winter period, which means that we have not had rainfall for many months, so it's dry, dusty, and unfortunately the weather forecast is for lots of wind. When looking at a map of Pilansberg, you may notice that only the central and southern areas are actually open for the public self-driving. The northernmost areas are reserved for private lodges. Today my plan is to review most of the watercourses, as this may influence any routes I take for the rest of the week. On the old map itself that you're looking at, there are probably 3 to 4 of those dams highlighted, which are only the larger ones, which no longer even have water. Let's see what we find out.
And so the barrenness of Pilansberg at the moment is astounding. It's always been fairly dense, but presently that denseness has completely disappeared. And now we have open plains right through to the water.
As suspected, 2 of my favourite water holes and pans are already dry. The first being Taupan, and the second, as you can see with the guinea fowl below, is at Rutlocher Hide. One of the advantages of self-driving is that you're often given advice by other drivers. And today that's exactly what's happened. We've been told that there are 3 of the big 5 on one of the primary roads in Pilansberg. And one of those happens to be Buffalo, which is something that many people who've been coming here for years self-driving have never seen, as they tend to stay in the northernmost parts of the park. And so with profound apologies to who I consider to be the greatest wildlife presenter of all times, the great Sir David Attenborough. It gives me great pleasure to share with you today the ghosts of the Pilansberg. Seeing buffalo is an absolute treat, especially as I haven't seen them myself for many years. So I was extremely excited by the fact that I already had now a couple of the big 5. But on the way back, I managed to find the lions doing what lions do at this time of the morning, which is lying under a tree, and they weren't going to move for the rest of the day. But then things got even better. And so I have stopped here by this burnt patch. And some of the people ahead have told me that they saw a leopard cross to the other side of the road a little earlier. Now there's a few cars parked there, and rather than fight with the traffic, I've learned over many years just to find myself a good spot, sit and take up a hopeful position that if something changes, I'll have a good view. But at this stage, the baboons don't seem to be at all concerned. goodness me, that leopard has recrossed the road and is back in the howling dust storm. I think I can see it, and outrageously, this means that I have already seen the Big Five on day one before 10 o'clock in the morning. That's most unusual. I am pleased to see that actually both the Reykhoek Dam and Patlako have water, even though it's a lot lower than I last saw. What is crazy though is the wind levels have got up to such ridiculous levels that there's virtually nothing to see and everything's lying down under the bushes for protection. Not a surprise after this morning's fantastic start. Malatsi Dam too has water. It's good to see that all the bigger dams still have enough water for the animals to survive. And finally for today, I'll come to the waters at the Nkakadi Link, which is a way out, quite a rough road, but to me one of the finest, most beautiful dams that exist, because the traffic levels are so low. And as you can see, even though the water's a little lower, there is life at Nkakadi. Personally, there's nothing really more relaxing or enjoyable for that matter than watching a calm elephant bull quench his thirst after a long, hot and very windy day. If you have enjoyed today's Pilansberg adventure, please feel free to subscribe and set on your notifications so that you can get advised of the next episodes as they are released. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.